We are going to be making a sushi bomb. This is quite wacky, but it's super creative. We're going to be using a whole avocado. We're going to be using some crispy tempeh, which we're going to steam, fry, and coat in a hoisin glaze. We're going to also add in some mango for just some fruitiness, some chives, and we of course need our rice. In on my breadcrumbs today, I have some cornflakes. This is just going to add another layer of texture. It adds a nice crispy coating, and that is perfect for this dish because there's a soft element of the avocado. It's creamy. We've got a crispy inner and a crispy outer. So let's grab our ingredients. We need our tempeh. We need a whole avocado. We need some mango. I've got some chopped chives. We need some hoisin, some mayonnaise. Now, first things first, is shop-bought tempeh can be quite bitter. So what we're going to do is I've got a steamer heating up here on the hob. Just for around 1 to 2 minutes, we're going to put the tempeh into the steamer, and that's just going to counteract any acidity as we don't want it. So pop the lid open. We're going to stick the tempeh in. Pop your plate to one side, lid on, and leave for 1 to 2 minutes. So let's prepare our avocado. Take a knife. Now, usually you would cut an avocado lengthways, but for this, we are cutting it sideways. So knife through the skin, all the way. Use the pip as your guide till you get to the other side. Twist it off. Got perfect avocado. Take a knife. Remove the pip. Sometimes it's quite tough, but just be careful with it, be delicate. Take a little bit of a smaller knife and just make an insert into the skin. If it's quite thick skin, just be careful. And you're just going to really delicately peel the skin off the avocado. We really want it to stay as whole as possible. And again, we're going to repeat the same thing on the other side. Now, just don't forget about your temper on the hob. Just be aware of it's there, but it's okay. And just taking a knife, all we're going to do is just remove a little bit more of the inside, because that is where we're going to fit more of our ingredients. So just scrape out. You can use a knife, you can use a spoon. We're just scraping out a little bit more of the inside and just pop that avocado there. Now we're going to keep these. I'm going to hold them to one side. Our tempeh should be okay, so let's just give it a check. If it's nice and warm, that's exactly what we want. We're only trying to counteract the acidity. So at that point, turn the heat off, remove the tempeh, and just pop it onto your board. We no longer need the water, so let's put that to one side, move it out of our way. Now we are going to fry this in some breadcrumbs as well. So if you're using your wok today or you're using your fryer, let's crank the heat up. The tempura batter we used earlier, let's use it again. And we've got our breadcrumb mix. So let's pop our avocado just out of the way for now. And all you're going to do is take a couple of pieces of your tempeh, coat it into the batter one by one, remove any excess liquid, and then into the breadcrumbs. And if you just pop them to one side, one at a time, you'll only need around 4 pieces. But if you want a little bit extra just to have on the side, then by all means, keep making a couple there. They're really amazing little nuggets. And the nice thing is they soak up all the sauce that we're going to be putting onto the top. So we're just coating each piece and we're popping it straight into the hot oil. Now at this point your hands are a little bit messy like mine, so let's take this moment. We're just going to wash our hands just a little bit. Okay, so for now We don't need the batter just for the moment. We will do again, so don't throw it away. And we don't need our breadcrumbs for the moment either, so let's just put that to one side. So, into a mixing bowl. So into the bowl we've put some mango, some chives, some hoisin sauce, 2 teaspoons for now. We can always add a little bit more. And a little drizzle of maple syrup. Give that a good little mix. Now once our tempeh is ready, nearly there. Oh, that's really nice and golden brown. That's been in for around 2.5 minutes. Again, if you're using a hob, this might be a bit different. Your fryer might work slightly different to mine. So these are really nice and golden now. So we're taking them out of the oil. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a knife and we're just going to chop it into small little squares. We're going to chop each nugget into little bite-sized pieces. We still want the crunch, so not too much. We're not blending it, we're just chopping them. Now, once we've done that, let's lift them, pop them into our mixture we've just made just now of mango, hoisin, and chives. Give it a really good mix. If you haven't quite put enough in the hoisin, we can go back. This is crazy, this dish, but it's it's what it says on the tin. This is a sushi bomb, and it is an explosion of flavour. This really, once it's all coming together, it's just gonna, it's like popping candy in your mouth. There's loads of different elements. You're surprised with what's gonna take off, what's gonna explode, and it's exactly what this dish is designed for. So, if we need a little bit more hoisin, let's just pop that in now. I'm adding another teaspoon into mine. We want it nice and sticky so that it will sit in our avocado mold nicely. So I have to tell you, this part is slightly tricky. So we're just going to get our elements ready. So we need mayonnaise, we need our ingredients, we need our sushi rice nearby, we need a sheet of seaweed, half a sheet of seaweed, and we need our dry and our wet mix close by. So the base of the avocado that we scooped out a bit of the inside, we're just going to put a real thin layer of mayonnaise. So using the back of a spoon or using a knife, we're just going to add a nice thin layer of mayo. And then we're going to just pop that. We don't need it. Now, it's tricky, but we're going to be absolutely fine. We've got our avocado as a lid that's going to secure everything into place. And this is like a mega bomb. It's going to be huge. So you can feed, I would say, 4-5 people with this. You can cut it however you like. So we're taking a big handful of mix. And I've got 1/2 of the avocado sat in the palm of my hand, and the other is on the table. I'm using my other hand to scoop the ingredients and really get it nice and firm on the top of that avocado. So as much as you can fit in, you fit in. We're going to take a layer of rice once we've done this. So it's nice and secure, you know, that the reason why we got it nice and sticky is so that it doesn't move anywhere. So nice and secure. We're going to take a little bit of sushi rice, put it onto your chopping board, flatten it out slightly, lift it up and pop it over the top. Okay, this is where your hands need to work in unison. So whilst you're patting this sushi rice around the top, you're securing it into place. Okay, we're going to take a little bit more. Now, if you want to turn this into a really huge mega bomb. What you can do is, it's completely up to you. You can pop this avocado on top. We can add a little bit more rice around, secure it into place. And then what we're going to do is we're going to breadcrumb and fry. So we're just gonna continue adding. Now this is not your everyday sushi roll, right? This is, you wouldn't choose to make this on your everyday, but that's not what this course is about. This course is about getting creative in the kitchen, really showing what we can do with many different ingredients. So the stage we're at, it looks a little bit like an egg. We've securely got rice on both parts. We are going to take a piece of seaweed and we're just going to wrap all of this like a cocoon into the seaweed. You might just need one more piece, half of another piece. So if you do like I do, rip it, pop it down, and just attach it to the bottom. Secure it into place. This is the reason we've put the seaweed on here, is also it's going to add a nice amount of flavour, but it makes sure that everything is really nicely and secured into place. So what we need to do next, remove the piece of seaweed. This time we're going to use some corn flour, some tempura flour, and our cornflake mix. So the whole of the bomb, just lightly dust into the corn flour. So this is our dry mix. It's going to allow for everything to stick quite nicely. It's messy, but don't worry, it's easy to clean. Sometimes it's nice to get a bit mucky in the kitchen, every once in a while. Okay, so we've dipped it into corn flour. We're now going into the batter. Just be so careful. What you can do is you can hold it in one hand and you can scoop the batter with the other, and that just makes sure that you've got full control over this. Because if you submerge it into the batter, it might fall apart. So what you're going to do is, from that point, you're going to dunk it right into the breadcrumbs, okay? Move this along, bring your breadcrumbs up, and then you sprinkle all of the breadcrumbs, cover all of the wet. I promise you, once we finish this point, we're gonna have a reset. We're gonna tidy down. We're gonna get rid of all of the mess. Whilst this is in the fryer, we're going to make sure that all of the mess we're creating right now, we are going to clean up. When I first started my business, this was something that we used to sell online, and people just loved the aspect of having the different textures and the flavors. And from an aesthetic purpose, if you are having people over, it's such a wow factor. And it's something completely different. You wouldn't ever think to have this sort of sushi. So for me, this is more like an artistic form of eating. It's a piece of artwork, really. So yeah, we've coated that, and we're going to pop it directly into the fryer. At this point, I would probably recommend gloves off. Gloves off and directly into the oil. Okay, and we are on around 190. Now, because this is huge, it's probably not going to submerge directly into the oil. If that is the case, don't worry about it. We can flip it over. So all we're going to do is, now once that is frying, let's reset, let's tidy up, and then we'll get going with the last part of our course today. Okay, so we've flipped our bomb over. It's now ready. We've got our plate, and all we need to do is take it out the fryer. So lift it out, guys. Be super careful at this point. It's going to be ridiculously hot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop a new pair of gloves on. And I am going to then lift it out and we're going to get it ready for plating. Okay, so we're lifting it out of the hot oil. And what we need is a serrated knife again. It's gonna, for ease of cutting through it. Find the flatter side and we're going lengthways. So be really careful all the way through. Keep a hold of both sides all the way down. Now the big reveal. We're gonna open it up and pop that onto our bowl. Now you can finish it in any way you want. You can add sauce onto the top. You can add some chives. You can add some sesame. It is completely up to you. I am going to add some sesame seeds, some chives, and we're going to leave that there. And to recap what we've done here, we have a sushi bomb with hoisin tempeh. We have breadcrumbed and fried it until it's golden and crispy. It is stuffed between 2 pieces of avocado. It really is quite the showstopper. And now we have one more dish to make to finish our course off.